Hello, this is Roger Bradshaw. Today I'm going to be going through a complete cycle of the integration that exists between RaceDirector and my-finish.com. My-finish.com is a website that's designed specifically for showing race results on smartphones. It uses the smartphone browser. No app is required, and the integration between RaceDirector and my-finish.com takes very little extra steps in RaceDirector. But there are a few, and I want to go through those right now. Using myfinish.com for a race is a feature or a service that there's a charge for. It's $50 a race, and you can contact me to get set up for doing results this way. The first race you attempt is free, and the billing will begin on races that occur after the first race. So once a race is enabled to work with myfinish.com, you will go through an update process of the RaceDirector software to get your race activated. And once that's the case, you can begin publishing information about the race and results immediately to myfinish.com. We're going to go through an example here of a small race where it is activated. And first I'm going to bring up a browser screen that's meant to mimic what it might look like on a smartphone. And as you can see, there are some recent races that have used myfinish.com, and there are right now no races scheduled for today. And the race that we're going to be demonstrating actually is scheduled for today, so you'll see that change here shortly. In fact, that's what we're about now, getting both the setup and the participants uploaded to RaceDirector is actually done on one screen, and there are 2 or 3 different places where you can activate that screen. We're going to start in Tailor Divisions and look at an element, a configuration element that generally isn't necessary for actually scoring the race in any other circumstance other than if you're using myfinish.com or the exact integration. So for myfinish.com, assigning an event to a division essentially is saying, I want this division included at myfinish.com. An event actually gets created for you automatically when you create a new race, so there's nothing additional you need to do to create the event. There might be odd situations where you want more than one event, and essentially that is driven by the URL that you would like for your race at myfinish.com. So if you had maybe a complicated race where the event organizer preferred to have actually separate URLs for maybe the 2 different distances, like if it was a 5K or a 10K, that's about the only example I can come up with where you might want 2 events. But in most situations, a single event is all you're going to need, and that event is set up for you automatically. The event maintenance is actually done on this with this button here, which brings up this screen, which is where you can rename the event with this button. You can add a new event or delete an event by highlighting it. But this is the key button for doing the myfinish.com setup. When you use this button, you see this screen, which has all the setup information that you need to activate the race at myfinish. You see here the URL for the race itself. The name of this race is Run for Shelter, and we agreed that the URL would have a tag of RFS. It's up to you to suggest the tag. If you don't suggest one, I'll just make one up, and obviously it can't be the same tag that another race may have used. There's a logo file that is needed for activation of my-finish.com, and you can either have a logo that is specific to your timing company. that is used on all races where you don't have a race-specific logo, or you can use a race-specific logo for every race that you do at myfinish.com. There's a link here if when someone clicks on the logo, if you want it to go to a specific website, you can put that in here. And about the only other piece of configuration that you do for each race is the footer is going to be at the bottom of each individual result. And so if you want to put something here, preliminary results only would be a common one, or in this case for final, complete results C, and then when you complete the web address in its entirety, including the http:// when this appears in the footer for the participant, this will actually turn into a hyperlink. But that's about all there is to the getting the setup done. As far as how you upload the race setup and the participants, it's this button here. And when the upload is finished, you'll get a prompt saying that it was completed. And you also get a warning that if you do this after you've done results, uploading a new set of race setup and participants actually clears any previously entered results. And actually now if we bring up our smartphone and do a refresh, we should see that yes, now there is a race out there at my-finish.com. Okay, as you are entering new results or making corrections and you would like to re-upload the participant data because there's been modifications, you can get to that same screen by using the upload button, the myfinish.com link, and it brings you right back to that same screen, and you can re-upload all the participant information to get all the changes done. That's really all there is to getting the race set up. Now on the results, the next thing I want to show is QR codes, and I failed to mention something here. When you look at this setup, it tells you both not only the URL, but it gives you an indication of what the URL needs to be for your bib number provider if you are having them put a QR code. QR code being that square code that you can scan with a cell phone. And the way myfinish.com is designed is if the scan code actually has the bib number embedded in it, the scan will take the participant directly to their own personalized individual result. So this shows you what you need to tell the bib number provider for how they need to construct the URL code, and they will know exactly what is meant by this. But if you want to create your own URL or your own QR codes, there is a way of doing that. If you are doing a standard participant ID label, you'll see there's a setting here for QR code on label, and when you use the setup QR code, it knows that this is a myfinish.com race, so you are asked, do you want to use this as the URL reference? Yes. And would you like each QR code to be specific to the bib number? If you say no here, then the QR scan is going to take you right to the screen where you type in a bib number. If you say yes, then the QR scan will take you directly to the participant's result. So everything that the label process needs to know about how to build the QR code is defaulted for you, so it's just a matter of agreeing, okay. And now when we print the labels, you'll see that the QR code is generated for you automatically. Okay, so the final step in this process is actually publishing results. And again, you get a prompt here reminding you that, boy, if you've made any participant changes, it would be good to re-upload those, so you get another chance to see this screen and do the upload. And you'll see some new settings on the import screen right under the import button about live results. The most standard way of doing it is as you import chip results, immediately after the import, the publishing happens without you needing to do anything. If you would rather be in control of the publishing, you can turn this to manual, and then the publishing will happen only when you use the Publish Live Results button. So we're going to leave it here on auto after import, and as we do the import of results, you'll notice that right here there's a slight pause and the publishing is done. And if we return to our cell phone app and go to this race and look at the leaderboard, for example, you'll see that the results are out there. And if we select any of these individuals, this is a representation of what the individualized result will look like. If this race had segments or splits, you would see the split information down underneath the top level information for the participant. And the splits will actually show and increment throughout the race, even if there has not been a finish result yet. So in the case of a triathlon, as they're going through the course, in the top part of the screen you would see not yet finished, but in the bottom part of the screen you would see all of the splits, and the ones that they have completed would have results in them. If you click on any of these links here, for example this one, if you click on this, it will take you directly to this age grouping, and you can see who all the other age group finishers were. That's really all there is to it. The integration is built in a way that there's very little extra you have to do as you're executing the race, and the results are published. And as long as you're pulling results quite frequently from your readers, the participants should be able to see an online result quite immediately after they complete the race.